Hi, everyone. It's SS Coulter. It's that time in our week where we're going to slow down and learn how to bring some joy back into our lives. Today, we're talking about how to stop feeling like work and family are competing and how to create meaningful moments with your kids right in the middle of everyday life. So, with that, let there be joy.
Welcome to Let There Be Joy, where SS Coulter talks with experts who share 3 simple, practical ideas you can actually use to help build a life you don't want to escape from.
Welcome to this week's episode of Let There Be Joy. I met today's guest almost a year ago, and we pretty much clicked immediately. And now every Monday morning, we've committed to each other to jump on a call together to check in about life, business, faith, obstacles, triumphs, and the week ahead. And along the way, something awesome happened. I look forward to Monday mornings for the first time ever in my entire life. And it's so cool because I know they start with Jennifer. And it's not just because Jennifer is super fun to talk to. It's because I leave every conversation with a new way of thinking about life. And that's exactly what I hope you'll take away from today's conversation. She's one of those people who has a way of helping you think differently, encouraging you, and making you feel like you can tackle whatever is in front of you. So it is truly my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Dechaine. I'm going to read you her bio, and then we're going to get to know her and her tips. Jennifer Dechaine has spent more than 20 years in the real estate industry as a top salesperson, sales leader, and now consultant helping professionals across Alberta, Canada. And as soon as you hear her speak, you will know she's from Canada because her voice is awesome. What I find most interesting about Jennifer's work isn't really real estate at all. She believes real estate is a human change profession, not just a sales profession. And she helps people build the human skills that create lasting success. And as a mom herself, she's also lived the challenge of balancing work with kids at home during the summer. And she found creative ways to turn those moments into opportunities instead of obstacles. What I love about her work is that she helps people stop choosing between building a successful career and building meaningful memories with their families. So welcome to the show, my beautiful friend.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
it is so good to have you here. And we were just talking before the show, and she didn't know what my introduction was going to be. And we were talking about how much we now both love Mondays.
So good. I love it so much.
So I just want to jump straight into your tip, and then people will get to know you as we're going. Okay. The first tip that you sent me was put your children to work as experts in their field.
Did say that. Oh my gosh. Well, I probably have to explain myself because I am not endorsing child labor, but I was a mom working in real estate for when my children were little, and I had that. Real estate is super flexible and you can kind of be anywhere, go anywhere, and you have this amazing flexibility, except during the summer when you have your kids home and you need to be places and you have 2 children that you don't really have a babysitter for. And so they become your right hand people. Now, the boys are all grown up now, and we had tons of great adventures when they were off for school, but I can't even say that I did this, that I was so amazing, but I was actually coaching a real estate professional the other day, and their struggle was that they're like, oh, like I'm out and about and I just wish I was at home. And then when I'm at home, I'm thinking about all the work that I have to do. So we actually looked at his schedule and there was these blocks of time. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm doing social. And I was like, and what do you do with your son? And he said, my son loves playgrounds. He loves to play at playgrounds, and that's what he wants to do all the time. And I said, so I got a question for you. What if you took with your social media a perspective of a child as an expert and playing in playgrounds? And now you go out into your city, out into your market, and you take your son and you get him to play on the playgrounds, and he gives it a score about the best playgrounds, the ones that he loves the most. And you go spend this quality time because he's not going to realize that you're working. And this is such a beautiful, authentic experience. What a fun adventure. So I also run some bus tours where I take real estate agents into new communities. And a lot of times as adults, we have different perspectives, right? We're looking at proximity to the green space. We're looking about the size of the yard. And it's like, let's go play in the playgrounds. Let's go walk on the walking trails. Let's go look at all the different amenities and let's take a child's perspective. So if you have children home for the summer, you are missing out if you're not taking them out into the communities, helping them get a different perspective on your market, on your work, and employing that into your own work. And like I said, all of a sudden now you're spending all this amazing quality time. Your kids get to do the most fun things with you. And you are also working. So how is that not a huge win? So that's what I mean by putting your children to work. I think you should hire them as product experts in their field, which is playgrounds. And don't stop there. Let's talk ice cream. Let's talk dog parks or whatever it is if you've got pets. Like these are our opportunities to really take the beautiful weather and spend the time with our kids. What do you think, Shannon?
I think that is really fun. And I was trying, as you were talking, I was trying to think of other places that it would be really cool to get a child's perspective on. And I don't know if this is the best example, but museums, or you said ice cream, but restaurants. And just, gosh, if you can go places that you've been 100 times, maybe that's exaggerating, but you've been a lot of times, and bring your child with you, if it's if it's appropriate, obviously. But to get their perspective on it, the child's perspective is so much more innocent and colorful than ours is. So even to a beach, and I know this is just making me so excited. I know we take our children to some things, a lot of things, but I don't know how often we ask their perspective about them.
Yeah.
And I love that change on it. Not mom's going to bring you to this beach. Mom and dad are bringing you this beach. This is how we loved it. This is why we loved it. And you can do that, but just asking the questions, why do you love it?
Yeah, and what
you
makes
want
it really good? What makes it great? What did you enjoy the most, right? And so, because a lot of times we're taking them there because we're like, we need to entertain them,
Yeah.
right? We need
Hmm.
them to go have fun and play. But bringing them into a conversation where you get to unpack their perspective of, what's the favorite piece of the playground equipment that they loved the most on that? Or I just think back to when our kids were little and they're like, I need to drink out of the red cup. And it's like,
Why?
why? Why? Right? Like, who cares? And as an adult, we lose so much of that perspective, right? And so bringing it back and honestly, bringing joy, like joy for who? Because I will tell you, I have now taken almost 200 real estate agents into parks and played. And those were designed for small children. But I got to tell you, we had so much fun and we had joy and we gave ourselves permission to go back and channel our childlike selves. And oh my gosh, like it's so easy to feel joy from just small, simple pleasures. Like, so silly. I bought, when we went to this park, we did a three-legged race. Remember those? And when you balance the egg on the spoon?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys did this in your school system, but they were called like track meets, and we'd all go regionally and we'd have the track meet, and you would get a ribbon, like a
Uh-huh.
blue one or a red one. So I found these vintage ribbons online and I gave them out, and you would have thought I was giving out checks for cash. How exciting it was. And everyone had their ribbons pinned on them and how they had won this three-legged race or come in second. And we started channeling our inner child, and there was just so much joy. These places exist in our communities and they're all built. We just have to go find them.
I'm thinking of so many different things as you're saying that. So hopefully I'll be able to take all my thoughts and bring them together. But the first thing, if you let your kids go be themselves, don't direct everything, you're going to learn the coolest and weirdest stuff about them. Like the
Yes.
red cup thing, right? Like why?
Yes.
And then when they tell you, you're going, okay, I just learned this awesome thing about your personality. But also if you're at the park, you might think the teeter totter is the coolest thing or something else. And they pick this obscure item and they tell you about it and talk about just getting to understand the way your child thinks, the way they see things. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, yes, just giving people first place, second place, third place ribbons, it's so funny. I like to say how tied we are all to points. Like I get excited when I get points from spending money on my credit card. Like that is so
Yes.
stupid, but it's my own money. Like, yeah, I got the point. But we are driven by that stuff. So if you can find those little joys in your life, it doesn't necessarily have to be a ribbon or something, but those little joys. And I think if you are hearing Jennifer, she is saying, especially if you have to work in the summer and you have to do these things, how can you flip it and get your kids to become an expert? And I think you can even make it even more powerful for them if you give them a business card or a ribbon or
Oh.
something that says, I'm the expert, I'm the playground expert or something
Oh.
like that, so that they feel like they actually are working with you. But there's all these fun things that come out of that one tip, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh my goodness. You just said that about business cards. I love this so very much. Can you imagine? Now I have to call my client and tell him that he could make his 4-year-old son a business card for a playground assessment expert.
It's
And
awesome.
they need to be doing those things. Oh my gosh, that would be so ridiculous and fun because kids, they want to come to work. There is a very short window in their lives where they think you are the coolest person ever and they want to come to work with you. And you got to make the most of it.
And I think too, if you give them that title, they're going to probably share more stuff with you because then they're very serious about their role. So I'm excited about that one. Okay, we're going to move on to tip 2. But before we do, I made the mistake I make on so many shows of not showing my brooch. And even if you are just listening to this episode, you probably can see this brooch because it's like a saddle. It's so big, but it's this beautiful butterfly. And it reminds me of my beautiful Jennifer. And then she's got these amazing pearls on, and we both have giant rings because
Oh, yes.
everyone, fanciness is very important, right? And it makes you it makes you have joy, at least for me. But in that sense, if something like putting on a brooch or putting on a ring or putting on pearls brings you joy, by all means, please do it. Why are we passing life by without putting these little specks of joy in our lives?
Shannon, there's something really important here.
Oh,
That butterfly, I can't wait to release this. The butterfly is very symbolic of my mother. Butterflies are very special to our family. And the fact that you are wearing this very sparkly, because I am all about the sparkle, but the butterfly, my mother is going to be so excited.
that's so cool because I picked it while we were talking Monday morning and we were talking about the show, and I looked and like, best for Jennifer. So there's
Yes.
a God nod right there.
Yes.
Okay, tip number 2, create a kids summer series. So I love this idea. What is this? Explain this to us.
The summer series, if we built on a previous example, like a playground, but we could also work on a summer series where we are focused on one thing or another. Now, this comes from a place of adult fun where my girlfriend and I would do a summer series on, we would pick 5 or 6 patios and be like, let's go sit outside in the sun. But summer series are applicable for everyone. Again, it makes us seek out adventure. And I think that an adventurous spirit is so much in tune with our childlike selves. I'm going to do a summer series with my niece and nephew. I just don't know what it is yet, but I know my mom does really great at going to the U-Picks to go get berries, to make jams, something like that, something like dog parks, something like festivals, where you do a summer series where you look at your city and you're like, okay, these are the things happening. Let's do a summer series on ice cream is a great one where there's always all kinds of seasonal things that come out here. Our summer is very short. It's like middle of June to middle of September kind of thing. And so we got to make summer count. Otherwise, it is very cold here. So getting out and try different ice creams. We love to do things together like that, and packing a picnic, an old fashioned picnic with a checkered blanket and trying out all these different parks. I think they make really great summer series. And then again, it's adventures that you have to plan. You have to put the time aside. You have to make the plan. And one of the things that I love the most about children is they just love routine and ritual. the ritual of packing something up, the ritual of choosing something together. I think it is so powerful when you are connecting with your children, the power of ritual where they know, like, this is what we do together. We've got to get this done. This is a very important and special. And I think as adults, sometimes we get a little lost and we're running around doing all these things that are really important. And at the end of the day, those rituals with our children they're everything.
And it's something they can count on. It's something that they look forward to. And what's really interesting about this tip, and I want to point this out, is that Jennifer specifically said that this is for people with kids and for adults. And I just want you to grasp that, because you can do a summer series with your kids, you can do one with your spouse, you can do one with a friend, and you can make it something that's free. You could pick the idea that you're going to sit on different benches. We're going to find different colored benches and sit on them. We are going to sit in different meadows and cloud gaze. There's
Yes.
so many different things you can do. And then you can go all the way to, I brought up museums before, if you want to do that, but you can make this fit to your family, your time, and your budget.
Absolutely. I know during COVID, whenever the world was closed, we would go explore the parks and we would go sit, bring a blanket and lay on a blanket and just look at the clouds and hang out and just be in nature.
I just had this idea pop, but how fun would it be if you pick a short chapter book and you decide that you're going to go to different parks with that blanket and you're going to read a chapter in each
Yeah.
till you finish the
Yeah.
book.
Absolutely.
Before we move on to our third tip, we're going to take a quick break.
Screens are easy. Now imagination can be too. Planet FASA brings kids and families into a world of fun, activities, stories, service, and awards that build imagination muscles. Download 5 quick activities, free coloring pages, and character building books at theplanetfasa.com, where the better choice becomes the easier choice.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. We're here with Jennifer and we're going to move into her third tip, which is be a tourist in your own neighborhood.
Yes. This is channeling that adventurous spirit that you had when you were children and you would try anything and you would talk to anybody and you would make new friends and you would do all these things. And I think as adults, we like to get stuck in our routines and our roots. And we're like, I got no energy at the end of the day. And it's like, no, I live here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, which is one of the most northern cities, large metropolis centers in North America, I think. And again, our summer is so short. And a lot of times you hear people complain our greater Edmonton metropolis is only like 1.5 million. So like, I guess this is big for Canada. I think we're in the top 10 cities. But the bottom line is people complain there's nothing to do in my town or there's nothing to do. I'm bored or I got to go to a larger urban center. And that's just not true. I mean, we have to look with fresh eyes in our communities. There is just so much stuff going on. We do tons of summer festivals. We even do winter festivals because we are one of a winter city. But we've got tons of festivals. We have tons of patios. We have tons of nature walks and lakes and museums and art galleries and there's just so much to do, but you are never going to find it in your regular routine doing what you always do. So unless you really put yourself out there and you try new things, if you start looking, you will be shocked at the things that you will find about the third places that are popping up in your community. And there's so many cool things. Just yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I went to this really cool play cafe. I have never been to a play cafe before. A friend of mine has 2 little babies. And we went to the play cafe where we had a coffee and the little 2-year-old was just like bopping around and playing and everything. And it was the coolest space where we just went for coffee, but there was places for moms to come and take their kids to play. And it was for like little children. Like I think mostly everybody was maybe 3 or 4 and under. So it really kind of made that thing where we can have a coffee and the kids get out of the house. And these places are all popping up, but they're not going to knock down our door and find us. We have to be adventurous and find them.
I really like that, Jennifer. And the thing that I found interesting as I read the tip out loud I am wondering what your thought is on this, but when we were talking about the summer series, I felt like that could push us to going out and finding play cafes, which I've never heard of one of those. So that's really cool. But this said also be a tourist in your neighborhood. And that just struck me as kind of cool because even just in that little area around your own home, there's got to be so many things that you're missing out on because we do these big plans, a lot of us, and we have to go somewhere, but you could just get on a bike and ride around your neighborhood. I'm sure there's little creeks. I mean, it depends on where you live. And I think a lot of us are missing that. And there's such an opportunity to go from just your tiny little neighborhood out into the city, and then you can explore other places. And I really wanted to emphasize that because I miss that stuff. And we just get so busy. And what really sparked in me, Jennifer, was if I start going to do that, I'm probably going to start seeing people at these places and I might make new friends as an adult.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's
Like I
really
think
important.
it's so important. Well, I take my dogs for walks. We just moved into where I'm living in April. So we haven't been here that long. But by taking a different route every day, we're starting to learn the community, learn the different paths where we can go, see the different parks. And now we're starting to get to know the dogs of the community. And then just this morning, I went down. There's this tiny little restaurant. It's called Country Cooking. And it's like one of those diners, those old fashioned diners where it's just like delicious home cooked meal. Like you can just taste the love. And we went down there. We'd seen the sign a number of times and the boys were home and they're like, hey, let's go. And it's one of those things where, there's gems everywhere. We just have to open our eyes and go out and do those things. And that's how we create community and that's how we connect with each other is getting to know those dogs and the diner and, the little services and the neighbors.
And little gems is a great way to put it. And for those listening with young kids, your kids will remember this and you're setting a great example for them to keep doing it as we get older because Jennifer, you and I were talking about patterns. We get into these patterns and they're really hard to break. And if you can just walk a different path today, walk into a different restaurant, there is this sense of accomplishment that will give you such a joy. And we go back to the ribbons because you feel good about yourself. It increases your confidence. Yeah. And it increases the amount of things you're seeing, which then helps with your creativity and your imagination. It's just this upward spiral of joy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my best to recap what Jennifer told us today. She first started with put your children to work as experts in their field. They can be your right-hand people. Take them to places that you have to work or get their perspective on these different things because they're going to show you things that you would never see. You're going to learn stuff about them that you would never know. And you can create little prizes for them to make it even more exciting. Tip 2, create a kids summer series. But Jennifer also pointed out it can be an adult summer series. So this is just picking something simple or complicated, whatever you want to do, and pick times once a week, however the cadence is for you, and go to these places. And I really like this because she pointed out that routine is so important to kids. So if they know you're going to do this once a week, they know they have to pack something for it. It's something they're going to look forward to, and it's something they're going to really remember. And then the third thing is be a tourist in your own neighborhood. And we talked about how on a summer series, that's getting us more out into the community, but this can keep us real close to home. And then we can go out and find gems. We talked about walking a different path, walking in a different cafe, but what a great way to explore the world around you, to get to know people and to get to see this beautiful world. So those are the 3 tips. And Jennifer, I want people to learn more about you and be able to find you and how you help give these types of tips in the niche that you're in.
So right after this, I'm actually headed to go talk to a real estate team. There's about 12 agents there. And we are going to go explore as a skill to build in life and in business and looking at the different stages of confidence, etc. So like this is the work I do. I can't even say it's work. It's this ridiculous fun because these are the human skills that we all need in My niche is real estate sales, but truthfully, sales is just life, having the courage to ask for the things that you want. So if you're looking for me, my website is congruentprojects.com. And on there, my phone number, my email. I have tons of free resources on there. One day we'll do a collab about maybe building confidence for children and things like that, because it's so funny when I talk to real estate agents today, we're going to talk about riding a bike and how we built confidence as children riding a bike and how we channel those different stages of confidence into our sales careers. So if you check me out online, there's lots of free resources, and I do education and coaching for sales professionals. Yeah, it's ridiculous fun.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So for a recap of Jennifer's tips and insights, you can find today's Joy PDF at sscoulter.com/joy. If this episode gave you something to think about, if you would like me to have Jennifer back on to talk about confidence, if you want her to really get pinpoint on real estate, because she and I talk about it all the time, because real estate agents have a real hard time getting off their phone, let me know. You can leave me a voice memo on Telegram at sscoulter. And if you've ever felt like work and family were pulling you in opposite directions, like, subscribe, and share this episode with others who might hear this and bring more joy into their days.
Next episode, we'll be talking about practical ways to help your children build confidence, develop a healthy inner voice, and become resilient from the inside out. So I hope you'll join us.
I want to come back to Jennifer to end this. So first, thank you so much for spending time with us today. I was wondering if you could give us some final words of wisdom for people so they can let there be joy.
Today we were talking about all kinds of things: parks, ice cream, red cups, butterfly brooches, ritual and routine, child business cards. The small things, they are everything. It is the little things that are the things. And we all work hard and we all are out there hustling, but we can't lose sight of what's really, really important. And what's really important is those relationships, our families, our friends, our people that are cheering us on and loving us up. And don't be so much in a hurry that you forgot to stop and enjoy the little things with the people that are the most important to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's the little things. Real joy comes
They're
from appreciating the little things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for everyone listening today, I want you to remember that you are so loved. You have a tremendous purpose in this life. And this is the day the Lord has made. So let us rejoice and be glad in it. Let there be joy. Bye for now.
When it was time to feed the multitudes, Jesus told the disciples they had to stop loafing around and be more efficient. Oh,